Before I got sick, I lived a pretty fast-paced life. I moved around a lot. You know, I had a lot of friends in different areas. I kind of took life for granted. So I didn't worry about it. It was just, you know, that's just your life, you live it. So I've never been one to get sick. I've always been really healthy. I didn't get colds, things like that. So me and my friends went out fort buying. We went out to the desert and, you know, we had a really great weekend. And I got back and, you know, was kind of like recovering from the weekend. I was kind of tired, and my mom came to my apartment and knocked on the door and said, "Let's go out to eat." And I'm like, you know, I'm really tired. I really don't want to. She goes, "What's wrong with your face?" I said, "Well, I just got a sunburn. You know, it's no big deal. You know, I was out in the desert." She said, "Wow." She goes, "You know, that sunburn looks really bad." And I said, "No, it's just a sunburn, Mom. I'll be fine." She goes, "You're going with me." I'm like, "What? No, I'm not. I don't feel good, Mom. I just want to lay here." And she's like, no, we have to go get you tested. We're going to go get blood test drawn. So that's what we did.
When Kathy got sick, it happened so fast. It was just like overnight. She didn't want to get out of bed. She just wanted to stay there, and she wanted to sleep.
Wednesday, we actually went and picked up my test results from the first clinic that I went to because it had been a week. So, and I took this piece of paper to all of you, sat down with a room full of people. I mean, just cram full of people thinking, there's no way I want to wait here. I want to just go home. I want to lay down and relax. I don't want to do this. I walked over to the doctor's, you know, little room that they're all huddled in and gave him the paper. I said, "Here," I said, "Can you just tell me what's wrong with me? Because I don't know what's wrong with me, and I'm not a patient person, and I'm leaving in 15 minutes. So I go up to my room, and the doctor came into my room, and he told me, he goes, you know, you have lupus nephritis, and your kidneys are not functioning, and we need to get you on dialysis, like right now. And I told him, I said, "You know what, I'm 29 years old, I can't do this." And so he looked at me, and I'm laying in bed, and he's like, "You're gonna be dead within a week."
When you mentioned lupus nephritis, this is specifically when the kidneys are being affected by the lupus. This causes a significant amount of inflammation and could actually lead to kidney failure, where dialysis would be required.
You know, as a mom, it's very difficult to see your child getting ill. And at that time, I thought, you know, I could give anything, and I would like to be in her place if I could just see her being healthy again.
The next day, the doctors came in and said, "Okay, we've got a different treatment." They wanted to try a drug called Cytoxan. It's chemotherapy, usually given to cancer patients. And I agreed to that. I don't know how I thought that was going to be any better, but I figured, okay, well, let's do that.
The drug Cytoxan is a pretty strong medication. We usually don't use it unless lupus nephritis, for example, is pretty severe. It's severe to the point that the kidney function is going down very rapidly. You have a lot of protein, a lot of blood in the urine, and we use it to basically suppress the immune system to a point that we could shut down some of this inflammation that's taking place and potentially save the kidneys.
Miraculously, you know, within 2 days, my creatinine was coming down. And so Cytoxan basically saved my life. Then I lived kind of like on a roller coaster for 10 years. You know, I was really good. You know, I didn't feel that bad. I was still, you know, retaining water and things like that, but I wasn't, you know, I was still alive.
She's a very upbeat, positive person. So I had to absorb what she was telling me, along with how was she handling it. I had no clue about kidneys. I know about kidney ache, but I don't know about having something severe like her. And then as we got to know each other and the years went by, she told me that she was not eligible for a kidney because she has autoimmune disease, so she could not be on the list. And she didn't want to do dialysis because she had heard things about it, and it got really severe.
So I was in and out of hospitals for about 10 years. You know, I'd have good days and then bad days and good days and bad days. It was kind of a roller coaster ride. And then at one point, it stopped being the up, down, and it was just a slow decline. And it was at that point in time, my doctor said, we need to do dialysis. So I'm like, oh, here's that word again. I'm like, I'm not doing dialysis. And about 6 months go by. And I go back in to see my doctor, and he goes, how are you feeling? I'm like, I'm fine, you know, I'm good. He's like, He goes, no, you're not fine anymore. He goes, I don't know how you feel on a daily basis, but this is not fine. I realize you've gotten used to feeling like this, but he goes, unless we do something soon, he says, your kids are gonna come into your room one morning and you're gonna be dead.
I met Catherine in 2011. We were working together, and I had no idea what she had gone through in the years before we were fortunate enough to meet each other. And because she's so strong and so independent and so healthy and outgoing, and I didn't realize that she had actually, you know, almost died. You know, she, you know, coming down with, I mean, I heard of lupus, I've heard of how it attacks people and what it does to them, and her particular form of lupus basically tried to kill her by attacking her kidneys and her renal system, and it was kind of an eye-opener.
So as you know, the kidneys do filter out the blood, remove waste in the urine that our body doesn't need. You don't want anything in excess. You don't want salt being held in, or you could start noticing that you have difficulties breathing, your legs could swell. You also have to get rid of extra electrolytes like potassium. If you build too much of that, for example, your heart could start to beat irregular, and it could actually cause your heart to stop. And there's also the urea nitrogen, which I mentioned earlier, which is a byproduct of protein. If that builds up, you could also start to feel confused, you could feel nauseous, and it just makes you overall not feel well. So when the kidneys actually stop working effectively, what happens is these things will start to build up. And what we do is we use dialysis, of which we have multiple forms, to filter out the blood, remove this waste, and do the work of the kidneys to keep your body essentially in balance.
My friends were, telling me, says, no, you gotta do this, you gotta do this. I'm like, I can't do that. I don't wanna live like that. And I went in and I told my doctor, I said, okay, I will do dialysis.
Kathy's a fighter. And I knew that she would find the strength and she was going to win this battle.
Because she didn't want to go on traditional dialysis, she went to the hospital and had a shunt put in so she could do it herself. So what she would do in the morning is she would hook her bag up and start her own dialysis in the car, driving to LA to go to work. She'd get to work, she'd do her job. At lunch, she would do it again in the car. She'd go back to work in the afternoon, and then on the way home, she would do it again. That, I have nothing but respect and admiration for her. It was incredible.
Because I was such a bad patient and I waited so long, other organs were shutting down. I let all my children know that, I'm on the transplant list and that there's probably not going to be a donor. It's just I can't wait that long. My health is declining, And so my oldest son came to me one day and he says, Mom, I went and got tested and I've been informed that I'm a match.
I've always been close to my mom, but when I found out about her kidney disease, I decided to go ahead and donate my kidney.
The kidneys are very effective. They're one of the most effective organs, and you don't need to have 100% of kidney function for them to still do what they do. This is why you're able to actually donate a kidney and only live with one, and you would not even know. Until the kidney function drops significantly low, probably even below 15% of kidney function, would you start to feel that something is wrong. Otherwise, you would feel perfectly fine, and you could have a serious issue at hand.
Having your son save your life was really hard for me. And he's my hero. And he knows it.
And I found out what a heroic thing that Brian had done for his mom. And I thought that was really, really cool. You know, there's a lot of people who say that they'll die for their parents or die for who they believe in, put themselves at risk for people they don't even know sometimes. But, you know, that's all talk until you have to go on the table and get cut open and have someone remove a perfectly good organ that you thought you'd keep for the rest of your life so that you can keep your mother alive. It's pretty deep. It's pretty big.
After the procedure, my kidney actually grew 25% larger to compensate for the other kidney. I just live a normal life, and I don't really notice anything. I would do it again.
With a blessing like this, and being able to come off of dialysis and being able to have your routine life and health back, I would definitely recommend follow-ups with your nephrologist and your transplant center because you do not want to potentially lose this kidney. Be strict with your medications. Don't miss them because without them, your body could potentially reject the kidney. Eat healthy, exercise. Just be happy that you do have a kidney, and really take good care of yourself because it could last for a long time and can keep you healthy for a long time.
After my kidney transplant, it's kind of like I got my life back. So I've taken up other hobbies. You know, I'm an advanced certified scuba diver. I go skydiving. I ride dirt motorcycles. I'm training for the LA Marathon, and that's an accomplishment in itself. But the one big thing that I'm really excited about is the November 2nd kidney walk for the National Kidney Foundation. And I finally get to give back, you know, to a foundation that helped me so much. The biggest lesson I learned from my whole life and my whole story is don't take life for granted. You know, don't think that you're promised tomorrow. You know, always enjoy every day. Wake up every morning like you have to accomplish something. And that's what I try to do now. You know, I still, you know, live my life, and sometimes it's mundane, but most of the time I make it exciting. You know, I want to learn more. I want to do more. I want to help others. I want to give back. And I try never to take it for granted anymore. I want to make sure that my life means something.